voice, but I can't make out every single word since I got busy hurling a bag of grenades into the front of the facility, where I can see the meandering movements of those undead soldiers. I can't say I wiped them out for sure. The pieces of them that are left find it hard to hurt any of my fellow POWs. I know that explosion from the front got the Wolfenstein's attention. Now I gotta make good with my time. And with the doors to this place opened up from earlier, I come up with a plan. I fight my way through the undead fodder and make my way using an all-tent route to the cryogenics laboratory. And I set off liquid oxygen tanks and blow the tanks on their equipment, flooding the laboratory with freezing chemicals that will leave me in my next phase. Under the cover of the clouds of water vapor in the air being released by the explosions at the cryogenics laboratory, I use a tank of liquid oxygen and freeze the panel of wall between me and the POWs. Then I use all my strength as an altered beast and shatter the wall. Then I tell the POWs to escape through the back where I came from. After leaving them to their fate, I hurry to the front of the facility, dispatching undead soldiers as I make my way to the front, while hearing gunfire from my fellow Russians from behind me. From now on, we're all on our own. I have to lure out the Wolfenstein, or else they won't stand a chance. Outside the facility, in the orange glow of the burning building, I'm rushed by two wolf soldiers, a male and a female. I can tell these people were not trained soldiers like me. In the end, they resort to becoming an altered beast out of fear of beasts like me. And I came back as an altered beast out of hate. Now I'll see which is stronger, their will to survive or my will for revenge. I start off with a feint. I allow these two to see me appear into hesitating fear, and I let them appear to intimidate me as I retreat into a secluded part of the woods with many trees to make it difficult for them to attack me from two sides.
Where are you going there, man? Don't you want to be a Russian hero?
The male wolf soldier says,
Yeah, what good is having the body of a bear if you still have the heart of a Russian mouse?
A female wolf soldier says, lurking even faster than her male counterpart. I make sure they lose me behind a tree. Then I am urged to surprise the female, who was the closer one. But her wolf ears catch me before I can even strike, and she slashes me, then knocks me over with a shoulder ram. I get up, and the male wolf soldier is on top of me with a follow-up attack that I narrowly dodge.
Almost finished it. One shot to the neck.
The male wolf soldier says boastfully, it's clear these two aren't experts, but they know how to use their new bodies. I'll have to use the trees and the environment to overcome the two of them. I retreat to a ridge where the ground is uneven, and they follow me in hot pursuit, with the female overshooting us and blocking my path on the uneven ground. Here's where I'll make another stand. From this point on, I need to win by damaging them over time, and not for a full coup de grace from the start.
Heart of a mouse? Try me again?
The female wolf soldier beckons with violence of words that howl over the hills. I'm too tired to run. I guess we'll just have to fight, I say, calming myself as I strategize my victory. I remember being able to tell how someone is going to strike with the slightest of body movements. Out here, I'm truly put to the test. She flinches, and I don't take the bait. I'm too heavy to respond to every move. Instead, I circle her on the edge of the incline, keeping her on uneven ground so her male friend doesn't get an advantage. I move into feint and attack, and she hops back, tripping over herself to avoid getting hit by me in a panic. Now I see that she's afraid. I could use that. The male comes from behind, but he stumbles on the uneven ground of the incline that we're on. and I hear the rocks underfoot giving him away before he could close the distance between us. I turn to slash him behind me in a crazy Ivan attack, and I successfully hit him. But my combat experience tells me his partner will use this time to attack me from behind. And I'm right. I miss her with another crazy Ivan attack. She's faster and more cunning than her friend. I have much work to do with this one. My strategy for Nettle is to keep her at bay with shows of force, while luring her partner into a conflict on territory where none of us have an advantage. The male wolf soldier comes at me again. As a man, I know getting tossed in front of a female is a huge blow to his ego. He had to come back. I know it. He lunges for my gut and grabs hold of me. Then I drop my body weight on him and break his ankle in the fall, where he twists out from under me and steals away just as the female slashes the back of my legs. My roar is unpracticed, but she takes it as a warning of a larger display of power. It seems our memories of being afraid of the same creatures we have become is something we have in common. Before I came here, I was afraid of wolves. Now they are devils. And I'm a bear-shaped angel of death. She almost gets my tendons and cripples me. Clever girl. I misjudged her level of skill with her claws. A mistake I can't afford to make twice. I'm lost in my own thoughts, going back to the years of training and teaching as hand-to-hand combat instructor. When I hear rocks disturb to the side of me, then I look, just in time to stop the male wolf soldier from tearing my throat out. He takes a chunk of thick hide from my arm, and I retreat to the incline again. Between the green glow of the mist that covers me and the blood in the air, I won't be able to lose them again. So I need to get desperate and fight for my life. I need to use my jaws. As I make it up the rocky cliffside, the male cuts off my path of escape from the cliff. Then the female makes her move from behind, and I pull a crazy Ivan and make a sudden lunge to my rear. And I hurt myself on her as I absorb a wound from her claws. Then I tear her throat out as I pin her to the ground. She dies slow since she struggles, and it takes multiple tries until she dies. Nazi bitch. I know the instincts of men. He was her partner, and now I know he will mindlessly rush in to try to save her. And I'm right. As I continue to rip her throat out, I hear the rocks on the cliff give my opponent away as he tries an attack from behind just as she did. I time it right, and instead of trying to block, I jump at him with my mouth wide open, and I catch him in midair and tear a mortal wound from his neck. For a few seconds, I'm blinded by the blood, but when I hear the gurgle cries of my dying foe, I know I have overcome the wolves in training. Now that the easy part is over, I must head back to the laboratory and fulfill the destiny that God has given to us all here. A familiar voice echoes over the hills, glowing in the fire at one side of the facility. It's the Wolfenstein, the head wolf soldier, and the most combat adept out of all of them. The loudspeakers outside blare the Wolfenstein's voice.
Detlef, isn't that your name? I'm going to count down from 10. Then me and the rest of my friends are going to go out hunting all your women and children, along with all the other Russian rats that escaped through the hole in the wall.
I stay out of sight and circle around the survey lab. I can still see my fellow Russians slowly making the retreat through the treacherous snowy hills of Zygulovsky Gosudarstveni, with their torches lit, giving them a way for all to see, especially the altered beasts who now lay a trap for me. I don't see any activity outside. It must mean they intend to lie in wait. If I want to defeat these Nazi bastards, then I have to flush them out of their pretty little Nazi nest and lure them into the open with me. Now I have a new plan. destroy the generators and sabotage their power supply and destroy the base. I'll have to break through and make a suicide run to end these people. I go through the rear entrance where there is no one to be found. I assume this is part of their strategy. One relying on pulling their numbers together in a concerted effort to defeat me. I don't know where the power room is, but I can follow the cables to the trailer with the generator in it. As I make my way through the smoke from the explosion at the cryogenic laboratory they used to have here, I know if I'm successful, I could bring this whole place down, and all it'll cost me is my life. I'm almost to the power room when I hear a howl coming from behind me, and I don't even bother to look. I just run and try to kill us all. Then a wolf soldier appears and hurls me to the ground in one move, flooring me and pinning me down, while his partner comes in for my execution. As I look up at the wolf soldier that I ignored, I see him with his snarling snout, exposed teeth, and vicious eyes. And I see something that is more beast than man. And I think to myself, that's why I'm gonna die. I didn't let the beast out. I held on to my family in my head, and then I let go. I was just a man in a bear costume. After I resigned myself to my fate, I see the wolf soldier that is to kill me take several shots while his friend on top of me flees as shot after shot punctures his custom wolf soldier uniform. I look to the source of the gunfire where I find my savior, the girl of the red coat, now wearing a soldier's ammunition sack on her chest and reloading an AK-47 assault rifle. God for daddy's girls, the ones who love to hide with their fathers.
Get up. Come on, get up.
Sophia's voice rings out amid howling and cries of pain from the wolf soldiers. With my bare ears and an enhanced hearing, I hear my foes cross-talk.
That was the gun we were told to find.
One of them says, now I realize why my ultimate foe isn't here. She was hoping to use the girl to lure me into another trap, and now this leverage is my weapon. Get on! I tell her, and she steps over my face to climb onto my back. I grab a cord from the power room and flee it to her.
Tie yourself on. I'm gonna blow this place to the ground, and we're gonna fight our way down the hills to save our people.
By the time I'm done talking, she's fastened herself, and I've started the sequence to overload the power supplies.
Do you see that big black tool against the wall with the cinch outside the window?
Yes.
Shoot it.
It's the cooling unit. In the ventilation shaft, alarms start blaring, and emergency lights flash throughout the facility.
When the generator overheats, this place will come down.
I tell her as she adjusts the tactical sling in her weapon.
We're leaving. Get ready to fight your way out.
Now at the front, I see the fire from the cryogenics laboratory has engulfed the better part of secret lab from hell. Good. And may my people rest in peace. Before I leave, I must know for sure if the people that they made me kill were actually my wife and son, as they suggested before. Especially the Wolfenstein, who I know would use their last ounce of humanity to destroy mine. Was she lying? Or was this the only truth to be spoken here in the frozen heart of hell? And let's go to the cabbage patch and look at the name tags on the charred bodies they left out there.
I need to see something at the rear of this place. Are you alright to go with me?
I asked, you remembered how I spoke to my own son?
I'm good. I'll watch your back, comrade.
Sophia racks the AK-47. Without seeing anyone, as we made our way over to this place the Nazis called the Cabbage Patch, seemingly named for the huddled masses of charred corpses in rows, corpses of failed genetic experiments in the Nazis' pursuit of Stalin's Bearman research. I brush the frost off the tags and go over each one carefully, sometimes finding no names for the subjects. As I look, I could see that the Nazi bastards rarely incinerated multiple people at once. Perhaps they didn't want to deal with more than one success at a time. After a long search, I find the name. a female and a young male. The names are covered with frost. And now at the worst possible time, I hear the howls in the distance along with screams that echo over the hills. I take a moment to study the names on the tags, and then I respond to the howls and the screams.
We're saving the ones we can. Some of them aren't gonna make you.
I know. I'll try not to miss.
Sophia sits back, holding on tight.